Okay, go ahead. We have it's been 2 weeks since our last team call, right? So we should have a lot of shout outs.
Yeah, I don't know, Mindy's not on this call, right? So I wanted to shout out Lindsay Wythe because she came back from Summit with a fire in her belly for this business. And that's what Summit does. But she has been inviting and helping and reaching people and like getting together with them one-on-one in person and just doing whatever she can. And she sent out her invoice tonight to one of her nearest and dearest, which will make her emerald on Thursday when it's completed. So I'm really excited for her.
Thanks, Lindsay. I just want to shout out Jennifer is on here, I think. Jennifer's on here. She was messaging me today while I was at the store, asking questions, helping her customers. She's like, I got 3 or 4 conversations going on. She is just rocking this. And I know she was doubting that she was a rock star, and Lindsay called her out on the team earlier, but I just want to shout that out again because she's killing it this week.
I would like to give a little shout out to Andrea. She's working really hard. She approached Valerie and me about helping us run our Lift 4 group, which is awesome. That's really fantastic. And she is making so many connections. She's sending out a bunch of share cards, and people might be slow to respond and to pull the trigger, but they will get there. So keep at it.
I wanted to shout out Skylar. I don't know if you all have been looking at her posts recently, but she's been killing it. Like, she's had like super vulnerable posts, and now I'm like finding myself like every time I see she's posting, I'm like wanting to read. So if you're not following her or you're not reading her posts, definitely check them out because she has a great way of kind of being open and being vulnerable and relatable. So nice job, Skylar.
I wanted to shout out Kate too. Kate was the person that originally introduced me to Beachbody. So I feel like I owe her so much because I wouldn't be here if not for her. And she just actually had re-signed up under me. And she messaged me today, and we have a mutual friend who has always been very uninterested, I'll say, in any type of exercise or healthy lifestyle, and almost made fun a little bit. I think made us a little uncomfortable when we first got started with this business. And she texted me tonight and said that our friend, had actually started with BOD a week after Kate did and just bought Energize and actually asked Kate if when she does 80-day obsession, if she could do it with her. And that is so huge. Like that, it was like just a wow. And I told Kate that right there shows you that you're exactly where you're supposed to be right now. Like maybe the first time you signed up wasn't the right time, but now you are, because look at the lives you're already changing. Are we all shouted out?
I have one more. I don't think she's on here, and I think it's probably my fault. She's brand new as a coach, but Rebecca Kilnap just signed up as a new coach, and she's already been very active in the team page, asking questions, trying to learn, asking me where to access the trainings. And she is coming from, she signed up in May for the To Be Mindset group. And at first she was like very, very hesitant and then like this girl's just been just the momentum she's been picking up and gathering, and like the belief in herself has been really, really exciting and inspiring for me. She was like, well, I'll have to maybe wait for another 2 weeks to sign up. And then she messaged me back like 5 minutes later, and she said, my husband said my Mother's Day present is going to be the big package so I can go all in. And she has been all in since day one. She posts like, you know, the mindset revolution groups have been kind of quiet with the 2B mindset, but she is in there almost every single day sharing meals, sharing her tracker, and now she's just like so excited to start helping other people get started, and she's already talking to people about it. So I'm super proud of her and excited to welcome her to the team.
Okay. So Valerie, Linnea, Lauren, and Lindy, did you guys talk about who's going first? Or does one of you just want to go for it?
I can go first.
Okay. I'll just tell you guys, I warned them that I'm setting a timer and they only get 5 minutes to talk. And then I'm going to be like, okay, thank you. And go on to the next one. Only because we try to be really conscientious of our time. So, all right, go ahead, Linz.
All right. So this year was my first. We do need nicknames. There's too many of us. This was my first year to go to Summit. And honestly, even I was so excited to go, but even up to like the day before I left, I kept looking for reasons not to go. The night before I left, we had Sarai's birthday party. And that night she woke up in the middle of the night, throat hurting, in pain. And I'm like, nope, mama can't go. Baby's sick. And my husband was like, nope, you're going. So I went, and I have serious anxiety disorder. I've been on anxiety meds now for almost 10 years, and I only had to take one dose above my daily dose. I take a daily maintenance dose, but I only had to take one dose the entire time I was there, and that was just to get on the bus to leave. That wasn't even anything dealing with Summit. That was just leaving my family and traveling alone. I show up, and literally the first person from our team that I see, I meet her at the bus, and she gives me this giant hug. I mean, instantaneously, it was this family of people who I never met in person. This was the first time. I met my coach, Mindy, from Instagram, Autism Moms. So I had no idea who most of the people were. And I went through it, and I know a lot of our team did the Shaun T workout, but I ended up going with three other girls. There was four of us who did Chris Downing. And that workout, I left so much on the floor of that hall. The emotions of not feeling like I belonged were gone the moment I walked into that. And I'm like, they even started disappearing Thursday afternoon when Jamie led our PIO workout. I had never tried PIO before. I had never really thought I could. And so having Jamie being willing to do that for us, and I did it, and I felt like, hey, I could keep doing this. And so it was, to me, I went and I was so nervous, but the moment I got there, it was like all my nerves were gone and I was in the place I needed to be. So for me, that's the biggest thing. If you ever feel like you don't belong, come to Summit. You will go home knowing you do belong. So I guess that was my biggest takeaway. And I'm planning on doing a call later to give a little more detail. Oh, and there's Sarai. I'm feeling 100% now. Hi. But that's it.
You did really good. You still have 2 minutes.
Woohoo!
I love that that's your biggest takeaway, because to me, that's what live events are really all about, is community. Linnea, you want to go next? You're right next to Lindsay on my screen, so.
Okay, I can go next. All right, start my timer. So I think I have two big takeaways. The first being that I realized that being part of this team, not just our little team, but part of Team Beachbody as a whole, it's not about like being successful with it. It's not about necessarily taking off right out of the gate. There are top coaches that I listened to speak who said, oh my God, I got it so wrong for like the first year, and then figured out how to turn it around after that and have made great success because they figured out how to approach it, what works for them, how to connect with people, and now they're killing their businesses. And that makes me feel like maybe I can take this in another direction because that's where I am. I'm a year in. I've just kind of been hobby coaching along. Hey, maybe if I can make a little bit out of this while I have a discount and take care of myself, then great. But, maybe I can take it to another level and it's not too late to do that. My other huge takeaway was that surrounding ourselves with positivity from each other, from personal development, from the rest of our community is like, it's huge for this business. Because if we're in the business of eliminating unhealthy habits and lowering the obesity rate, all of that is tied to positivity. People have to have a positive mindset to do that. And so we have to have a positive mindset to lead them. And I am planning on picking up a lot of personal development that leans on that concept so that I can have a more positive mindset and then talk to others through that and make them see that this is possible to do this. And the two general session speakers that we had made huge impact on, that perspective for me, especially the second day with Sean Anker. I've got like all of his books are bookmarked in my Amazon right now so that I can try to work my way through them because he really spoke to me, and I never would have gotten that had I not been at Summit and heard him. So those are two big things that I brought home with me, and I'm hoping will propel me forward.
I love that. We actually, those of you that are not Diamond yet, we actually have just started this push group just for Diamond coaches between Grit and Grace and Free and Fierce, and we're working to help kind of give them the tools that they need to help their downline better, because when you get Diamond, that starts to become a big responsibility. And the first thing that we're talking about is how we have to have the right mindset, and we have to make sure to foster that mindset in our coaches, because most people don't truly believe they can rank advanced, that they can go Ruby or Diamond. And it starts with that mindset. So that's huge. Who do I see next that's supposed to speak tonight? Lauren, I see you.
Okay, can y'all hear me? Yeah, okay. So I had a great experience. I was going to more so talk about like some of the business related stuff that I learned. So I hope that's okay with everybody. But I wanted to talk about like social media and influencing people through social media. Because that's such a large part of our business. Like that's how we market to people and that's how we get new customers. And so I was very interested in that. And Bonnie Engel did like becoming a social media influencer. And if anybody wants some of the slides, I took her pictures. But so she talked about and somebody else too talked about being really authentic, and it spoke to me because when I first started coaching, when I first signed up, I followed all these top coaches because I wanted to be successful and I wanted to see how they did things, and I had a mindset of like mirroring them at first, and that quickly changed. But I think being authentic and being yourself is so important because I think people can tell when you're not being yourself. And I think it's harder for you to post and be natural when you're trying to be someone else. So some things that she said, she really pointed out like using hashtags. So finding hashtags that fit you. So I'm a new teacher, so I'd post hashtags with all my pictures that said new teachers. And she also showed, I don't know if I can show y'all, but showed a way to like find new hashtags and find people through hashtags. So through Instagram, if you go to your little search, like a eyeglass thing, is that what that's called? If you searched, you can go over to tags, and if you type in something that you're interested in, like if I typed in dogs or Labrador retrievers or something, you can find people by clicking on those hashtags. And then that goes into that 5-3-1 rule that I think Lindsay shared about, where find somebody that kind of like speaks to you by searching their Instagram. And I think it's you like 5 of their pictures, then you like comment on 3 of them, and then I think you send them a message. Is that right, Allie? I see you. Maybe? Okay, so that could lead into a conversation that gets started and potentially a new customer. And then one other thing, can you get me back? Help me. I got it. Sorry. One other thing that she said that I'll just wrap it up with, because I think I'm almost done. She talked about like leaving people curious about like the products that we use on a day-to-day basis. So not sharing the name Shakeology or Energize or like the names of even the workouts that we're doing. She wants you to like have people ask you about it and question it. And I know Lindsay started like doing her little Insta stories or whatever, where she's like scooping her Energize and her Hydrate in. And she said that people are so curious. So that really does work. Like, instead of sharing that you're eating a beach bar, like, snack on it and have people like want to know more, because that is going to draw them in. And then I like paraphrase something she said. I'll wrap it all up with this. She said, tell the real story. Nobody likes someone who's good at everything. It's okay to tell people about stuff you don't love. It creates trust. So I thought that was really cool. And that was my huge takeaway. And some was really great and I loved it. That's all.
I loved meeting you and being housemates. All righty, Valerie. I can't see you on my screen. Oh, there you are. You're on the second screen. Go ahead, girl.
All right. So part of my anxiety going into Summit was, like my husband goes away a lot. So I was really anxious about leaving the kids at home. And it ended up being that the Sunday before we were leaving for Summit, my husband had to leave again. So I had to last minute find somebody to come stay with my kids. And that, like, I was in a panic the whole time I was there. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be that basket case mom who is leaving her kids and paranoid. But when I got there, everybody's like, oh, I'm so sad that my kids are home and I had to leave them. And that eased my anxiety a little bit because I really thought I was going to be that psycho mom that was like on the phone with her kids all the time because I had to leave them home with my mom. But I wasn't. And so that really made me feel so much better about being there, knowing that I wasn't the only one going through that. Coaching wise, one of the biggest things I took away was I have had in my opinion, with challengers, I'm doing great. But I can't get somebody to sign under me as a coach for the life of me. And I thought, I'm going to go to Summit with all these people who have all these coaches underneath them. And I'm clueless and I don't need to be there. And that's not my thing. But when I got there and I started opening up to people, like so many people feel the same way. Like everybody on our team was just opening up like, yeah, I am going through the same thing. I'm not signing coaches under me, or it's hard for me to get challengers, or so like going there, I felt like I was kind of the underdog or like less than. And it was really nice to get there and have everybody so open and welcoming. And even those of you who are Emerald Diamond coaches, like you're so helpful with the stuff that we're going through. And it's not like, oh, well, there's that coach that isn't signing anybody. They're not good enough. Because that really was something I really thought that I was going to get there and I didn't really deserve to be there. So knowing that other people felt the same way and knowing that you guys were so open and receptive to us and answering questions for us and helping us out, that was really nice. And that really gave me some confidence in this team and gave me a little bit more confidence to go ahead and, I don't want to say be a little more pushy in my approach with people, but you guys definitely gave me the reassurance that I needed, that I can do this. I do deserve to be there. I do deserve this, to be a coach. And it's just going to take me some time, and I've got to be a little more confident in what I'm doing. So that was my biggest takeaway.
Are you reading the chat box, Valerie? Oh, did she lose her?
No,
I hope
can't.
you're reading that chat box.
Hold on.
Pretty much everyone's just saying that it's hard to leave our kids. We all feel that way too. And we're glad that you came regardless of how you felt, because that's not how anybody feels about you. I don't know if she's still there or not.
Thanks, guys.
Sarah, did you want to say anything else before I close up? Before I say anything?
No, I feel like they must have, did they all get together? Did you all get together and talk about what you were going to talk about? Because I feel like seriously, what you talked about, it's all of like the most amazing parts of Summit, from every, maybe every fear or hesitation that someone could have going into it. You all addressed everything. And this call is like something everyone is going to have to listen to, because it truly is life-changing. And as I was walking out onto the porch tonight to just like do this call and thinking about what we were going to talk about, I was just thinking about how I still feel this fire in my heart that is still burning from Summit. And it seems like forever ago, because I've been traveling and all these other things on my mind, but it's just this like the momentum that it has sparked within all of y'all who went, and it's been contagious on the team. Like, it's just it's phenomenal. And this call was such a great, I'm really glad, actually, as much as hot as Joel is, I'm really, really glad that we had this call tonight. That's it.
I completely agree. Like, last week was so amazing, and I know that so much of that came from all the momentum from Summit. And already this week is gearing up to be really huge again too for the team. And I just feel like those of us that went to Summit have done such an incredible job as leaders, because no matter what your rank is, no matter how long you've been coaching, you're a leader. And those of you that went to Summit and have come back and even just shared a screenshot of something you did or took a picture of in a workshop, or even if maybe you haven't shared anything in the team page, but you've had a conversation privately with someone that went, then you're leading by having that conversation. You're leading by sharing the screenshot. You're leading by sharing that you came home feeling refreshed and rejuvenated, and there's no way you're going to miss it next year. Like, that's all leadership. And it's so amazing how us fueling ourselves, just like Linnea said, like with that PD, what an impact we can have on other people simply because we're taking care of ourselves first, not just in our workouts, but also in our mindset and in our emotions and in our mind, like everything, your brain, your mindset, your emotions, your physicality, all of it allows you to give back to other people. And I think that's really, really huge to have the strength to even this is the first Summit I've ever come home, and I sat at the dinner table with my husband and was just like word vomiting Summit to him. And he was like, I mean, I'm pretty sure he had no idea what I was talking about, but I just walked away feeling like this team has got going on. And I'm fired up. I'm still fired up. So that's one of the things I had written on the team, on the little post that Lindsay shared about the team call, was painting it green. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit, because we've really got some momentum going. There are a lot of people in here who are growing and reaching goals that some of them didn't think they could achieve. If you talk to the people who hit diamond last week or went star diamond qualifying last week, they'll tell you, I did not think I would be able to do this. And when I see them doing it, I'm like, you made it look easy, girl. Like, I didn't realize that you didn't believe in yourself, because I think you just made it look like it was easy peasy. So I want to kind of foster that, and I want to talk about something that we can all be doing on a monthly basis and a quarterly basis to try to keep that momentum going throughout the whole year. But then I wanted to leave you guys with this. So I heard a couple of stories tonight that made it sound like, we all struggle with believing in ourselves sometimes. And so I wanted to share with you a little bit about my journey. So my first summit, I was in the same boat as Valerie or as Jamie. I know Jamie hates to leave her kids. And Lindsay mentioned, like, even the night before, she was looking for excuses. I had told Erica, I'll go to Summit. And the entire time leading up to Summit, I was like, I'm not really going. Like, I'm just going to keep acting like I'm going because I don't want to hurt her feelings and make her mad at me. But I know I'm not going, because I'm not leaving my kids. I'm not leaving my husband. I'm not going somewhere by myself. Like, I just had it in my head, like, that's not who I am. I'm not independent enough to do that or strong enough to do that. I'm not capable of leaving my kids that long. But then I ended up doing it. I don't even know how that happened, but I ended up doing it. And from then on out, yes, I miss my kids. It's hard to leave. I get anxiety leading up to it all the time because I'm a huge introvert. I don't think you guys understand how introverted I am. But now I know, like, some things that I can do leading up to it to prepare myself for it. So, like, I got there 6 hours before anybody else would be in my house the day before Summit even started, so that I could have that time just with myself, because I knew I needed it. Because if I had traveled with someone and gotten there, I knew I would struggle. Because there was just some things that were heavy on my heart for this summit, and I knew I needed some me time before it all went down. So I made sure to make that happen. But then this summit was also a little bit hard for me, because last summit I was recognized as being a 5-star diamond elite. So I walked across stage like 3 times last summit, and I got like a huge award and represented our team and felt like I really deserved to be there. And then this summit, I have not rank advanced. I did not hit elite again. I actually lost my Success Club Legends this last year. Last year was really hard on me in this business for various reasons. But I kind of came into this summit feeling like, oh, wow, I'm like the girl who hit it, and then I'm like Whitney Houston or something. Like I did amazing, and then, like, I don't know, Vanilla Ice, just nobody now. And it was really like, I felt like I had not met other people's expectations for me. I had not grown. I was really struggling going into it. So I want you to understand that it doesn't really matter how long you've been coaching or what rank you are or anything like that. We all have our struggles, and we all have our feelings of self-doubt. We all have our feelings of like, I did really well 2 months ago, and now I'm really struggling, and people are probably judging me because I used to do this and now I'm doing this. And just understand that that doesn't go away. So what Linnea was saying about personal development, you just have to keep doing it. This year, all the books I've read have been based on building my mindset and building my emotional stability, as opposed to building my business. And in turn, my business has grown a lot because of that, because I'm believing in myself again. So just kind of know, like, that you're not alone, no matter what your doubts or your struggles are, or your concerns or your fears. And we also need to keep that in mind when we're talking to potential clients or potential coaches to join our team. They're not alone. We once felt that way. We're not alone. There are coaches who are much higher up than us in this company who go through the same thing. And it's important to realize that we can control that by feeding ourselves what we need to be fed, and continue to not give into it, because it would have been very easy for Valerie to say, no, I'm not going. it's just too much right now. And it would have been very easy for Lindsay to say the same thing, like, oh, daughter's sick, staying home. But they would have missed out. They would have missed out on so much. And honestly, their kids would have too, because they came home just a little bit changed. And that's going to have that positive effect on the whole family. So keep that in mind. You're never alone. And when you do have those fears and concerns, there's a whole slew of beautiful faces that are willing to listen and relate, because we do. We get you. We get you, weirdo. Own your weird. Fly your freak flag. Let your freak flag fly. All right. My doggies are trying to steal the show back here. All right. I'll just go through the comments real quick and see if there's anything pressing that anybody wants to say or ask. Go ahead and unmute yourself and ask it. And if not, then we'll let Sarah wrap this up. I will say, be watching for a post from me tomorrow. Next week, I'm going to have a call for people who are pushing for Emerald. So if that's you, or if that's one of your coaches, be watching for that post so that you can be on that call.
Lindsay, you can go ahead and wrap it up, but I was thinking maybe you could talk about, I'm sorry, it's so dark, the sun's down, but maybe you could talk about the, I know we've talked about it in the team page, but real quick, the challenge group for July and how countdown to summer was, yeah.
Okay, so boot camp bingo. So I've been racking my brain. We have so many new coaches, and we want to make sure that they're getting started right. And I have a lot of new coaches. You guys have a lot of new coaches, which is such an amazing thing to be trying to figure out right now. And I was trying to figure out the best way for us to, would that be if you're pushing in a second CBC? Yes, Selena, good question. I wanted to figure out a way to make sure that we actually, because I'm doing the first one, but eventually somebody else is going to pop in and we're going to start delegating these out a little bit to leaders, but that we're kind of mentoring and getting down in the trenches with new coaches and helping them to run their first couple challenge groups so that nobody's trying to figure it out alone. Nobody feels like, well, I've only got one challenger, so I may as well not even run a challenge group. I don't want anybody to have those fears that we were just talking about. Like, we're all in this together, right? So what I have decided to do is every month we're going to run what I'm going to call like a team-wide mentorship challenge group. So what that means is it's not going to be open to everybody on the team, because when we do that, like in Countdown to Summer, we end up with like 400 challengers. Again, amazing problem, but way too big, not really serving our people, and not allowing new coaches to blossom because they're overwhelmed. We're overwhelmed, and we've been doing this for years. So what this is Boot Camp Bingo is its own little challenge group. The all new coaches or coaches who maybe have been coaching for 3 months but don't really feel like they're ready to like hit the ground running yet, or have never been a challenger before, and so they're still kind of learning the ropes because they just signed up as a coach in the first place and didn't really understand what a challenge group is. It's a group just for them, and I'm helping them get organized. So I created the template for them that I shared the training on a couple weeks back. And then I gave them the theme this time. I made the bingo card for my own challenge group, so I made sure to share it in that challenge group as well. And then I'm just helping them get organized. So I gave them some ideas of generic topics they could be posting on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, etc. And then the girls are actually going in there and signing up for days. And I've taught them how to schedule their posts. I made the check-in and the evening check-in and the morning check-in graphics. And one girl scheduled all the morning graphics, and one girl has already scheduled all the evening graphics, just kind of showing them, like, by getting down in it with them, this is how you set it up. Andrea deserves a shout out again because she set up all of our albums. She made the covers so that they all match in the group. And then she took all the stuff from the challenge group content part of our Google Drive and put it into the albums so that they're all set up there for us. Somebody else somebody else did, got the morning check-in stuff. Somebody else did the evening check-in stuff. So it's really been delegated, but in a way where they're learning, like when I do my own, or when I'm working with these two people, one of us needs to do this, one of us needs to do that, one of us needs to do this. So I'm just trying to I'm a teacher. So, there's that I do, we do, you do when you're a teacher. So they've watched us do it in the countdown to summer. Now it's time for we to do it together. And then it's okay, now you find your people and go do it with them for the you do part, so that we're actually teaching them by getting their hands dirty, as opposed to me just saying, this is a template, this is how you use it, now go, good luck. So that's what the mentorship group is. And every month I'll do a different one. This month, we had already created the bingo card because we were using it in our group. So I thought it'd be really simple to use again for them. And it's a fun way for challengers to stay engaged. I shared that bingo card in the team, in the business tools album. If anybody else wants to use it, it's got our little team logo on it. I think I might need to change it to the new team logo actually, but it's really fun, really simple. And some of the things on there are actually starting to cater, or what's the word I'm looking for? Mold your challengers, I guess, into coaches, listening to PD and reflecting on it and things like that. Because, a lot of times our challengers are our best coaches. The people who have been in our groups and have been killing it in their own journey are usually the ones that end up being great at helping other people do the same thing. So does that explain it a little bit? Okay. Alrighty. A folder on our team page with those graphics so we can repeat the bingo again. The bingo card is in the business tools. What I'll do though, there's probably a better way to organize that. Maybe what I'll do is I'll make an album just labeled challenge group. I don't know. It's kind of like the marshmallows and the Lucky Charms. I'm full of.
I know when I did a free group with Mandy a while ago, we had a joint drive that I could add images to, instead of putting them into the template, you have the check-in image. If I just uploaded the picture, then you can save the picture, and all those graphics Andrea made that match everything and all of that.
If I just put them in a folder, then you don't have a problem downloading them.
No.
It's when they're in the template that there's a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, we can fix that easy then. I was thinking if I put them in a drive, people wouldn't be able to download them.
No, if they're just in the folder. Yeah, if they're in the folder, they